Alright, welcome back again. Today, I'm excited to talk about a new topic suggestion from Justin about misprints. Now, I've touched on a few misprints before, but there's quite a few that I have never thought about in the entirety as its own subset. So let's get into it. Now, this is an exciting topic for me because there could still be many more that I haven't discovered yet, and I'm not quite sure of the PAL region. I know of a few odd ones, like Rayman had two different versions with two different spine texts, but I don't have any of those to show, so I'm just going to touch on the NTSC ones. And some of these might not be misprints to some of you, or me, but they are different enough to note here. So let's start off with Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So when the game first come out on retail, the difference is it had no Amiibo logo icon at the top. So I think the Amiibo logo icon one just come bundled with the Amiibo package. So this might not be a misprint, but to me, it's noted that this should have had the Amiibo logo icon because it was compatible with Amiibos, even though it didn't come with one. Next up, this one I do consider a misprint, or at least different enough to note. Jeopardy has a THQ and a Nordic game print. The difference is from this one and the Wheel of Fortune version and Darksiders version that also has a THQ and Nordic games print, is the Jeopardy one has two different texts on the spine, whereas the other ones are the same for the other two games. So that's different enough. And this is probably the most known about misprint, is the Breath of the Wild with the control differences on the back. So this one just shows that you can use one control option. This one shows you can use all of them. So this was the first print that definitely got switched to this. And then this one, most people might think of when I pull out the Jurassic World bundle, that the misprint is the game on the inside, which I will pull out and show you. So the reason people think this game is a misprint, when they find the non-box version, it does not have a UPC. But that's not a misprint because other games do that, like Lego Dimensions, the game case itself, the artwork does not have a UPC. Same with Guitar Hero Live. So that's not really a misprint, but if you look at the text, the box icons have two different logos, since one is North American and one is Canadian. You can find this without getting the Dr. Wu version as well. But the misprint here is not even that. That's just a difference in regions. The misprint I consider on this one is actually on the box. So if you look in the bottom corner here, the logo TT Games is missing the G for games, which is very odd since on the back their logo has the G. Same with on the actual case of any of the games. So that is an uncorrected misprint that, with such few out there, most people don't even note that. This one, however, is a bit different. You don't have to consider the Toys R Us version bundled with a poly bag, but the Canadian versus US, the North American versions here, one of them has a spine icon and one does not. I consider the US version without the spine icon a misprint. Every game has a spine icon, so this one stands out not having one, but the Canadian version has one. So if you like having the icon, go for the Canadian version. If you like all just your American versions, this one's going to stand out looking a little weird. Now this one here, Marvel Superheroes, Lego Marvel Superheroes, as you can tell on the front, one of them has a network ID logo and one of them does not. The network logo ID one is incredibly hard to find, and it comes bundled, if you look on the back, with a DVD, and when you find it sealed, it should still have a sticker on the front showing that it has, since mine is not sealed and I've been looking for one, the polybag instructions on how to build the set for a hydroplane. So that one's kind of unique too, since most of them should have the network logo ID since it's compatible with that. And then this might not be considered a misprint, but you can tell Mario Kart 8 started to switch over from the logos when they started introducing more amiibo compatibilities. So it's not really a misprint, but they don't put both the icons on there. So there's two versions of Mario Kart out there. And then this might not also be considered a misprint to most people, but there are two games in the library that I know of that switched the ESRB logo at the bottom to have a white and a black version. The difference really is not really a misprint, but usually first, second, and third prints. That's how you can tell first prints from others. And then we've already touched base on Nintendo Land having the same kind of misprint as the Breath of the Wild there. So the single controls versus the 4 controls. That's kind of cool. This I also don't really consider a misprint, but the difference between the Canadian version of bilingual and the American version, the American version of solo English and the Canadian version of bilingual print, actually it's a trilingual, so it could be released all in North American regions, has the party game logo. So that's not that exciting, not really a misprint, but just a difference in the regions. Same with the Sonic and All-Stars Racing. We already touched base on the bonus editions for Canada and America having the dots on the spine. Just a difference in regions again. Same as Watch Dogs. So the difference in the Canadian print with the 2 ESRB and, well, it's a trilingual, sorry, this is not just, it also has Spanish. If you look on the back, it's got three warnings there, so not just Canada, or not just English and French, but also including Spanish. The difference is the Americanized version, or US version, has the E3 Awards logo versus this one does not. And then the last one I'm going to touch on is similar to the new Super Mario Bros. U that has the white and black logo, is the Wonderful 101. So the very first print you find actually has a white logo for ESRB, versus most of them that you find will have the black logo. So this is a fairly unique one too, but maybe not considered a misprint, but just a difference from first prints and second prints. So, but I consider the biggest misprint to be the controls on Nintendo Land and Breath of the Wild. The difference in the spine text on Jeopardy, since the other THQ and Nordic Games versions do not include that difference. And then this just odd, like why did they not put the G on their logo there? So maybe there's quite a few other ones out there. I'm not quite sure what the PAL regions have, and I'm not quite sure if people even track this. So hopefully we can add to it, and hopefully you guys even care about it. But thanks for the topic suggestion from Justin. I actually really like diving into the collection to find stuff that I haven't really thought about, but I know that it's there. So enjoy this one, guys. Have a good one.